Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Christopher Pelton, and I am the host here at THC Time. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this week. My author guest this week is an absolutely amazing person. I had the pleasure of meeting her about a year and a half ago, I think, at this point. And she wrote an amazing book, and I was so excited to be a part of it. And I'm thrilled that she's back here. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Susan E. Rogers. Thank you for coming out today, and welcome to THC Time.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me. Glad to be here.
It is a pleasure to see you. It has been a while since you and I have talked. I know that you found yourself stuck down in Florida after the storms and everything.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
How are you guys doing with that?
We're in pretty good shape. A lot of our neighbors in the city are not. We're in the city of St. Pete Beach, just a small little thing, but right on the Gulf Coast.
Right.
So the Gulf came right up into our house during the storms. We knew how to deal with it. A lot of people just threw their hands up in the air and said, "Oh my God!"
Right.
And we just like, nope, let's go to work and fix this. So we've been back in our house about 3 weeks. A lot of people are not in their houses still.
Okay.
So we're just now unpacking, unstacking, and cleaning and putting away.
Sure.
We're still in the process of that. But as I tell everybody, we're safe, we're unharmed, and we're still together. So
Excellent.
I count my blessings.
And that is the important bits, because stuff can be replaced.
Absolutely.
People, not so much.
Never.
Homes, very difficult. So I'm thrilled to hear that you guys are doing great now.
Yeah, thanks.
Tell me what's been going on with your books. I mean, obviously you've been dealing with the weather thing, but got the page you sent me here. We've got the three books, Uncovering Norman. Still love that book. This one over here, that looks kind of familiar. Death in the Cards. I think I've seen that somewhere before.
I think you have.
And Lady, Will You Hear Me is, assuming, is the newest one.
That's the newest. Yes.
Okay. All right. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, as you know, I'm a psychic, a practicing psychic. Uncovering Norman was my first book I wrote about my experiences dealing with ghosts and spirits. So you know that it's about a ghost that I kind of befriended. We befriended each other, and he told me about his life. I researched it and proved he was right, that he really did live, and the things that he said really happened to him. So I have a bunch of those stories. And so I decided I was going to do a series.
Nice.
I had tried kind of packaging them all in one book and got turned down by a few publishers and stuff. I said, okay, let me try this. So I separated them, and I'm going to do one at a time. Lady, Will You Hear Me is the second in the series that I'm calling True Ghost Stories. And they're more novella length because they're just one story of one ghost.
Excellent. Who's publishing?
Me. I'm self-publishing this series because nobody else wanted it.
I don't remember a phone call. I don't remember. You know, I love your work.
I know, but you were busy.
Was I on hiatus? I might have been on hiatus.
Yeah, you were on hiatus. You were on hiatus.
So how has your continued growth in the community been? How's the acceptance of the books? How's all that going?
It's done fairly well. A lot of it, of course, depends on my own marketing since I did it myself. So I'm not a stranger or shy of marketing. Not my favorite thing to do. I don't think it's any writer's favorite thing to do.
That is true.
But I probably sold 100 copies at this point, which isn't such a bad thing.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah.
Now, Death in the Cards, obviously, that's where you and I got together.
Yep.
How is that? Is that back in print?
It is going to be soon.
Okay.
Your successor is picking it up to republish it.
Okay, excellent. Glad to hear that.
we haven't gotten to work on that yet because she's had some delays and things
Right.
going on. She's been really busy, but it's definitely we've cut a verbal agreement to do that.
Excellent.
And it'll
Glad to
be
hear that.
probably early in the year. So yeah,
Okay,
it will be
because
cut it will be reprinted, republished, whatever. Second
is
edition.
it is a
Yeah,
tremendous book, and
thank
I'm
you.
glad to hear that it will be back on the shelves
Yeah.
because
I'm
people.
still selling. I mean, I still have copies of your version, your
Mhm.
edition of it.
All
And
right.
I'm still selling it. People are still interested. People still love it.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Very nice. All right.
And then,
Excellent. There's still the audio book as well that perhaps
well, we could have a discussion
we
about
could
that.
have a discussion.
Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely. It's still there.
Excellent.
Um,
Excellent. There's
yeah,
I mean, I love your work. You know that I'm a
yeah,
fan. We've known each other for a while now.
yep, yep,
And I'd be thrilled to work with you again.
absolutely.
On anything really. I mean, whatever you
Yeah.
want to do, you know how I work, you know. So what are you, now that you're settled in again, and Lady Can You Hear Me is out,
It's out. Yep.
is what's the next, what are you
What's in
picking
the
at right
works?
now? Yeah.
Okay, so I've got, and I think you knew about this one because it's been under contract for a while. Kind of a mystery, supernatural mystery that's out with Grendel Press. I have a
Yes.
contract with Grendel Press to publish that. They also had a lot of delays this year, so we're probably looking at early in 2025 to bring that one out.
Excellent.
Um, and that's a supernatural mystery story. More ghosts, lots of
All
ghosts.
right. All right.
And, it's about, tarot readings. Surprise.
Excellent. Excellent.
And then
Right,
I
right
also
what you
have
know.
yes, and then, Twisted Dreams Press, your
Mhm.
successor, is also gonna bring out another horror fiction novel
Nice.
for me.
Very nice.
Jennifer and I have already talked about that. And,
They've
again,
she she's one of the good ones. Jen
she's a
is
good lady. Yeah,
she
she is.
really is, and she puts a lot of herself into everything she does. Sometimes to her detriment. I love her to death, but
She
sometimes
works herself
she
very
works
hard.
herself sick, and
Yeah.
that, yeah. So, but I know she's been busy, and I chatted with her briefly a few months ago. So I'm glad to hear that things are
Yeah,
going well
she's gonna
there.
bring that one out. So that'll
Excellent.
be good. That one's called The One in the Noose. Actually, I think I may have sent that to you just before you went on hiatus.
Huh, all right. All right. I'll have to. I think so. I think so.
Yeah, yeah. So
Um, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back, and then we're going to play a little game called Straight Fire. All right, and we're back. So Susan, you've been with me here before.
yes.
You know how we play.
What if CAT really spelled dog?
5 random questions, no wrong answers. The first question and the last question are always the same. So let's get started with that. If dogs wore pants, would they wear them on 2 legs or 4 legs?
4.
4 legs. Excellent. What is your favorite method of murder?
Ooh, poison.
Poison. Very good. Very good. What was your first published story?
My first published story was a flash fiction titled It was a dark and stormy night. So it was titled Dark and Stormy. I had to
Nice.
stop and
Very
think for a
nice.
minute. Yes.
What is your favorite guilty pleasure movie?
I don't do movies. I really don't.
Okay.
I'm not a
All right.
movie fan at all.
All right. And the last question I ask everyone, and probably have asked you this before. When you're at the grocery store, Susan, can you reach the top shelf?
No. I grab another thing of groceries from the shelf and whip it
or
off
find
with that.
or find a tall person like me.
Or find a tall person. There's usually not one around.
So the new book is coming out. Death in the Cards is being reprinted.
Yeah.
What's the next year? Are you going to get out and do some events? Are you what's
Yeah,
your plan?
I've been doing some events. I did a couple local, very local. I
Mhm.
haven't um moved beyond the beach and the immediate environs, but that's okay because there's a very big art community here in St. Petersburg area, so
Excellent.
that's good. I was selected this year to attend Writers in Paradise, the writing conference over at Eckerd College in St. Petersburg, which
Very
is a
nice.
pretty prestigious selection to be able to
Cool.
go to that. And I'll be working with Michael Carita. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's
I
a
know the name. Yep.
pretty big guy in the writing
Excellent.
thriller genre. So he will be my mentor during that period,
Excellent.
which is very excited about. And I'll bring out another book in the ghost story series, True
Sure.
Ghost Story. Bring out another one of those. And just keep writing. I have a trilogy of dark fairy fantasy stories coming out.
Oh, all
That'll be
right.
much later in the year. And yeah,
So
I'm
busy,
just keep
busy,
going.
busy. That's
Yeah,
excellent. You know I'm a fan, so I look forward to all of that. I would again definitely love to get into a new project with you, and
sure.
we can certainly talk about that. So anytime when the new book comes out, you want to come on, more than happy. We'll hype it. We'll do an ad. We'll do
Great.
whatever you want to do.
Sure,
Because
great.
you you stood by me, and I won't ever forget that. The people that
Well,
stood up for me and believed in me, I will never forget that.
and
So
that was a deliberate choice.
yes, and I do greatly appreciate that. Anytime, my table is always open to you. Come on. Just want to talk about the weather. Honestly, it is always a pleasure to see you, and
You too.
you've got some terribly exciting stuff happening, and I'm glad to hear that you guys are safe and sound and you're back home. Because when the storms were coming through, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I do know somebody who lives there. Shit, I hope she's okay.
The
So,
interesting thing, if we've got a minute, the interesting
yeah.
thing is that Tampa Bay never gets a full direct hit from these storms. These were fringes. These
Yeah.
were not even direct hits. This area was blessed in the 1500s or earlier
Mhm.
by a tribe, a local indigenous tribe by the name of the Tocobaga. They
Okay.
blessed this area, Tampa Bay area, to keep it protected and safe from these big storms, from the hurricanes.
Hmm.
And we have not. There's not been a direct hit on Tampa Bay in over 100 years from a hurricane.
Wow. Wow.
So we get the fringes, and we get this was
Yeah.
one of the worst fringes I've lived through down here.
They
But
were they were big. They were scary.
yeah,
Those
they
like,
were yeah. But I don't
but
want
you're
to.
alive and well, and
I am.
everybody's safe and sound, and
We are
that's the
safe.
important thing.
Yes.
Because there's too much talent in that mind of yours to we can't lose you to some freak storms.
Oh no, no
So
worries, no worries. But I'm
excellent.
not going anywhere. I'm staying here.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Susan, thank you so much for coming out today. I
And thank
appreciate
you
your
for having
time
me.
as always. We will talk very soon, and 2025 is going to be a great year. So let's do
Yeah,
some
it
really
is.
cool stuff, and let's keep the people scared. Let's remind them what it's like to be scared.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Well,
Susan, thank you so much. And
thank you.
folks, I'm going to go out on a commercial break here. Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned. And we're going to go out on this commercial break, and we'll be right back.
what is popularity made of anyway? How does a person get to be popular with lots of people and have a few close friends, too?
Hey, Jerry, there's that new girl in our math class.
Oh, yes. Her name's Carolyn Ames. She's a swell kid.
Why? You know her?
Not very well. I wish I did. I don't know what it is, but there's something about her you like.
Well, she always looks nice to start with.
Yeah, especially when you compare her with some of the weird characters in this place.
Yoo-hoo!
I had her out last night.
Yeah, so I hear. And Tom had her out night before last.
Say, Bob said he had her out Friday, too.
Yeah, you know what she wanted? Hi, Wally.
Hi.
Bill. Hi, Jerry. Oh, say, Jerry, could you let me have that math paper you promised me last night? I just got to get it copied before class. Hi, Betty. Ellie. You can rest your tray here, Ginny, for a minute. Thanks. Say, Wally, how's the play coming along?
Oh, okay, Jenny.
Here, Jenny.
Thanks, Jerry. You're a darling. I'll get it back before class. Well, I really must be dashing. See you all later.
Nothing like being Miss Popularity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meow, meow.
Okay, Ellie. Now there's the girl that'd really get my vote.
Let's ask her over, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Ellie.
Why not?
Oh, hi, Ellie. Do you want some? No, thanks. But won't you come and sit with us?
Oh, I'd love to, but you're almost finished.
So what? We'll be there till the bell rings. I guess you know everybody, don't you, Carolyn?
Hi.
Well, I've seen you around. I don't Betty Richards, Carolyn Ames. Betty's the lead in our class play.
Oh, yes, growing pains. I looked in on your rehearsal yesterday.
We're all in on it in one way or another. I'm on the costume committee.
And Jerry and I are stagehands.
Two among a dozen or so.
How about you, Wally? Where do you fit in all this?
Oh, I'm a one-man team that does a job with no glory attached. I gather the props together, and boy, what a headache.
You sound like you need a helper. Could I lend a hand?
Would you? I mean, would you really?
Sure, I'd like it. I don't know anything about props, but I could learn.
Well, I need some help too, Carolyn.
Hey, lay off. I saw her first. Say, we ought to get together and talk over those props a little. Could you meet me backstage at 3:15?
Oh, that'd be fine, Wally.
See you at rehearsal.
I think maybe I'll take Carolyn to the dance Saturday night.
Well, better go ahead and ask her. We could work out a double date.
Saturday's soon enough.
Hello. Oh, hello, Wally.
I was wondering if you'd like to go to the Strand to see a movie Saturday night, and then go over to Teen Town, maybe.
Well, yes,
Or if you'd rather go with the gang on a skating party and weenie roast. We'd have to leave earlier for that, though. But we get home at a decent time.
Oh, the skating sounds like loads of fun.
Wally has used a lot of common sense in putting the invitation this way. It shows he has thought about what Carolyn might like, and he has implied his price range, so she will have some idea of what he can afford when she makes her choice. Carolyn likes it better this way, too. It's doing the girl no favor to leave it entirely up to her. It puts her on a spot.
All right, Wally. On Saturday at 5 then. Bye.
Well, that phone call didn't go on for hours. A pretty adult attitude toward telephone conversations. Carolyn keeps a date calendar. Not a bad idea. She'll never have the embarrassment of forgetting a date or of being all ready an hour too late. That's a good note to write yourself. Any night. But especially when you're getting ready for a date.
There. You too can do a manicure, Ellie. I might even know what to wear it with tonight if I only knew if Bill's dug up transportation to the dance.
You sure he knew to phone you here at my house?
I told him 3 times. I'll have to be getting home to dinner pretty soon. Take my advice.
Think twice before you start going steady. Don't you ever go out with anyone else at all?
Nope.
Well, don't you ever want to?
On nights like this, I do. I never know what he's planned. He just says, "Well, you decide, Ellie."
I should think you'd run out of ideas.
Oh, I'm getting to that point.
Hello? Oh, hello, Jerry. Oh, the props are coming along all right.
That's good. Hey, Carolyn, how about a date?
Well, I don't know, Jerry. When did you have in mind?
Well, what are you doing tonight?
I'm awfully sorry, but I have a date for tonight, Jerry. Tomorrow? No, I'm sorry. Well, call me early next week, Jerry.
Okay, Carolyn. Thanks a lot just the same. Goodbye.
Can you imagine that, Ellie? He wanted a date for tonight.
Sounds like you're asking her so late went over like a lead balloon, brother.
Maybe so. Well, let's see what else we can do about tonight.
Doesn't look too promising, Jerry. After all, it's no compliment to any girl to call her so late she thinks she's a very last resort. And sometimes a girl likes a chance to get ready for a date.
Hey, wait a minute. I didn't mean to scare you out entirely.
Oh, anybody I'd want to take tonight would have a date by this time.
Gee, where does that leave Ellie and me? I was counting on our double date in your dad's car for transportation to the dance.
Hello, Jerry. I thought I saw you here. I've been shopping. Got a cute pair of shoes, bright red.
Is that good?
Well, I got 'em for you. Why don't you ask me to the dance tonight?
I'd like to take you, Ginny, but I've decided not to go to the dance tonight.
Oh?
I'm gonna stay home to get some sleep for a change.
Oh, I see.
Sorry, Ginny.
I seem to be losing my grip. Well, I'll see you. Goodbye.
Bye, Jenny. Ooh, that was a close one.
Why?
Oh, you know, Jerry, we just couldn't take Jenny. She doesn't fit in with the crowd.
Yeah, I'm beginning to see what you mean. And about the car, I'll drive you to the dance, catch a movie or something, and then wander back in time to take you and Ellie home.
Swell. Say, I've got to call Ellie.
Not very pleasant, is it, Ginny? You see? And you've had it happen before. And unless you get wise, it'll happen again, often. Unless you get wise, you'll find it harder and harder to keep your friends.
Hello, Wally. Come on in.
Hello yourself. Gee, look at you all ready and right on time, too. That's a good deal.
Thanks. Mother, are you busy? I'd like you to meet my father. Dad, this is Wally Johnson.
Well, hello, Wally. How do you do, Mr. Ames?
Here I am, darling. And I suppose this is Wally.
That's right, Mrs. Ames. How do you do?
Well, it's nice meeting you. Oh, excuse me a second. I forgot my scarf. I'll be right back.
Don't let me interrupt your eating, Mr. Ames.
Thanks, Wally. I was just looking into the world of events before we go to dinner.
I tricked him into taking me out tonight. I understand you're having a little trouble with the props for the play.
Oh, not too many now. Much as I hate to admit it, though, Carolyn has hunted down a lot of things that we couldn't find anyplace.
Here I am, all set. Oh, Carolyn, I made some brownies today. Maybe you and Wally would like some when you get back. There's some milk in the icebox, too, isn't there? How does that sound?
Gee, that sounds good. We'll take you up on it, Mrs. Ames. Thanks.
That is a good idea. Nothing is more casual and more fun than raiding the icebox after a date. And it doesn't cost anybody a lot of money either.
Folks know when we'll be home?
We'll be home before 11, Mother.
Wally used his head, and Carolyn's family can relax because she has told them they can count on her being home at some definite time. She's thought about what she and Wally are going to do on the date, whether tomorrow's school day, and how many late dates she's had recently.
Do you have your key, dear?
The family knows Carolyn will stick to her word.
All right. Have fun, you two.
I'll take good care of her, Mrs. Ames. Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I hope you know you have swell parents.
Nice boy. I like him.
Yes, I do, too.
Carolyn and Wally are on their way to a good time this evening, and to lots of good times, with each other and with their crowd at school, because they're friendly, they're interested in other people, and they're considerate of the other fellow, because they know what it takes to be popular.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Christopher Pelton, the host here at THC Time, and it is my great pleasure to bring to you another. Guys, I have seen so many amazing short films lately, and this one just absolutely blew me away. It got into my head and it got under my skin and it's creeping me out. And I really dig that because it's hard to do. You know, someone who's been in the horror thing for so long, it is, but this one's really different. It's got a feel to it like nothing else I've ever seen before. So from the brilliant Chris LaVigna, this is A Place to Be. And when we come back, we're going to have a chat and see what it's all about.
This is Shattered Galleria. Is a body post-mortem, a corpse of capitalism, and I am a hopeless maggot. Swirling skeletal remains. I consume what I can before my host wastes away completely. Each frame of footage, a tiny chunk of flesh, I devour. Decomposition in video, high frame rates, low human energy. Emptiness is boundless here. Like a decades-old commercial for a discontinued product, this beast of the marketplace has been defanged. It can't hurt anyone anymore. So let me take my lunch order deep inside its lungs. Breathe in, eat raw. Demolition comes another day. There's nothing here. I've been here for too long. If you're reading this, if you're seeing this, please find me. I don't know if I'm in the real world anymore. I don't know where anything is. Every time I try to leave, it just sends me to another floor, another level. I don't know how I'm surviving when I haven't eaten. I hear voices sometimes, but there's nobody else ever around. It's just more doors, more empty rooms. The mannequins, they pretend to be people, but I know they're not. I keep trying to find something, anything, anywhere. I don't even know how I got here. I was never one of those YouTube urban explorer types. I used to go to this mall. These exit signs, I hate them. The exit signs fucking mock me. They know that they won't let me out. They know there's nowhere for me to go. I can't get out of here. Every door's blocked off. There's nothing for me here. We're gonna just get to going. Stick to the script, stick to the script. our sponsors. My mind is a conduit. My body surfs the static. Crests, waves of white noise. Steel structures loom large, but their power dwindles. I am the transmitter now. I am the transmitter now. I am the warlock of raw data, locked in communication codes of impenetrable intent, speaking in tongues, bandwidth on high. Parts of this confession were pre-recorded. This has been a test of the emergency spellcast system. Sifting through snippets, create a new language. I sing broad idiosyncratic. We have that third eye. Is anybody hearing this? Does anybody know where I am? Can you find me? I think this place was called the Galleria. It was White Plains, New York, I believe. These Americans, they just won't stop looking. I keep trying. There's no way out. I've tried every back room. I've tried every back exit. They won't let me out. Nothing's going on. This is happening. This used to be a place where you could get things. This used to be a place where you could meet people. People communicated here. People lived here. At least they fucking shopped here. Because there's not even any money to be made anymore. Is anybody out there? Can anybody, if you could see this, please try to find me. I hate going down these elevators, but I don't know where I am anymore. I don't know which level. I don't think I'm ever getting out. I think I'm leaving now.
All right, folks, that was Somewhere to Be. Let me tell you something. As a kid growing up in Fairfield County, one of the coolest places ever was the Galleria in White Plains. I'm guessing my guest has a different look on it now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chris LaVigna to the to THC Time. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thanks for having me on. And I'm glad to know you know the Galleria as well.
Oh, absolutely. It was back in the 80s. It was the first place I had ever come across that had a superhero store in it, comic books, toys, and I'm a huge superhero kid. So yeah, the Galleria has a very fond memories of the White Plains Galleria. Clearly, it looks a bit different than the last time I was there.
Yeah, it closed officially. I want to say it was early 20. It was like, it was like around the very beginning of 2023. It closed entirely, and the mall had kind of been going into, it kind of been fading for a while. It wasn't really like a huge shock to anybody. Sure. Unfortunately, when it closed, it was just one of those classic, unfortunately now a classic mall, American mall, in the sense that you'd go in there and half the stores were shuttered, and it was just like, you're like, who the hell even comes here? And the answer was not enough people to keep it going, because then it shut down.
That was so. I mean, obviously, you're local to that area. You're based out of New York.
Based out of Westchester County, born and raised.
Okay, right on.
Originally from Mamaroneck, living in Yonkers now.
Nice. So I was very confused when they decided to build that mall in South Norwalk, because first off, I grew up in Norwalk. Yeah. There was no need for it, and who builds a mall in 2022? It just doesn't make any sense. So, as I said at the start, it got under my skin, man. And congratulations for that, because that is not easy to do. Tell me how you got into the film thing. Like, what was your kickoff?
Oh God, what was my real? Well, I was raised on movies. My dad was just always been a movie guy. It's like my mom gave me my love of literature. She would always read to me as a kid, and then from a very young age, I would just sit and watch movies with my dad. I grew up on like all sorts of old black and white films, especially like comedy stuff like Abbott and Costello.
Nice.
But also as far back as I can remember, I've always been a horror kid. I'm of the age where Goosebumps was the big thing. Sure. And I always wanted to be a writer, a storyteller. And then when I got into high school, I took my first video class. A great teacher by the name of Dave Golden, who's still working over at Rhinebeck High School. And he just taught me, just broke down the fundamentals of film language with just these little, little cameras where it's like we still were using DV tape back then. And it just made it so accessible that I was like, I think I can actually do this. I can actually make a movie. So I got really into it. I went to college for that, graduated from Hunter College with a film degree. And In that time, while I was in college, I also started working for my local public access station, LNC Media, and that gave I would film sports games, I'd film local public board meetings. And eventually, I got the courage up to be like, hey, I've got ideas for like little programs and stuff like that, or we have our local news show. I could film some funny commercials. Like, can I do that? And he'd be like, yeah, sure. So that's how I did it, and that's where I'm at now. I'm just making short films and doing my thing.
Right on. So how many films are under your belt?
Right now, let's see. I tried to do a quick count earlier. I think I have about 4 or 5 short films, somewhere between there, like 4 or 5 like short films that are out there in the ether that you can find on the internet. I made over the years, and I have 2 separate like public access TV shows I've made that I'm pretty proud of. One of which was our own little local creature feature show called Terror TV. My project this year is I did a 10th anniversary special with my collaborators on that show, and that was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah, that's about it right now. I'm still kind of working my way up to, making my first feature, and that's kind of one of my goals for maybe the coming year, is to really finally get that going off the ground.
Awesome. Have you found a lot of the filmmakers that I talk to, they tell me that after a film or two in, they kind of develop a crew that, people who you can go to, and they get what you're trying to do. They understand what you're saying. Have you found some collaborators of the same ilk that you've been able to rely on time and time again?
100%. One of them is a guy by the name of Matt Sullivan, who is the head of LMC now. And he was still one of the higher ups when I met him, working there as just a freelance photog. And he is the guy who I made one of my best short films, Dead Air, which is another one I think you might have seen. It's a cool like rock and roll horror thing.
Oh yeah.
That one, he directed it and we co-produced it together. I wrote the screenplay, and him and I wrote a feature-length script, a feature version of it that we're hoping to get made one day. So, fingers crossed. We keep trying to find the right money people to maybe help us out with that,
Totally understandable. So how has your acceptance been in the filmmaking community, in the horror community? Positive, negative, like what are you hearing from the folks?
Overall, it's been pretty good for me personally, pretty positive. I've been just lucky in that, like I said, I found my people. I've gotten to know people. Like I'm good friends with some of the people who run like the New York City Horror Film Festival.
Nice.
And even though I haven't gotten any of my films to screen at that fest, I still am very close with them. And I was actually there a couple weeks back when they honored Danielle Harris with their Lifetime Achievement Award. It was really cool to meet her. And I saw some cool indie films. So I've gotten to know people in the local community. And where I'm at in Westchester, we're kind of trying to like build up a local kind of film scene here, even like with horror movies. I know some people who are trying to get some screenings going. So I found myself the whole horror community in the film world has always kind of been where I've gone to. It's kind of always been my my safe place,
Excellent. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll come back and play a game I like to play with everybody. It's called Straight Fire. It's 5 random questions, no wrong answers, just silly stuff. And then we'll talk a little bit more about where we can find you and plans for next year. So folks, check this out. We'll be right back. All right, folks, we are back with Chris LaVigna. Now, I'm assuming I've been saying that correct because I am horrible with last names.
It's okay. So, you know what? That's been a whole thing my whole life. It's actually pronounced LaVigna.
LaVigna, okay.
And listen, it's honestly at this point, if people say LaVigna, I'm just like, hey, just don't call me late for dinner.
Fair enough.
You
As
know,
long as you're spelling your name right, that's all that matters, my
exactly. Yeah. As long as I get the letters in the right order, I'm a little more loose with the pronunciation.
Excellent, excellent. All right, so here we go. Straight fire, 5 random questions. First question and last question are always the same because I'm a curious fellow.
What if CAT really spelled dog?
So, first question. If dogs wore pants, would they wear them on 2 legs or 4 legs?
I want to say 2 legs because I feel like dogs would want to try to imitate people. So
Yes,
I think they would do 2.
that is the most common answer. One of the other ones that I've received that I really liked was they wear pants on the back too and a little jacket on the front too. So,
Ooh,
so they look very stylish. The dogs. What is your favorite guilty pleasure movie?
God, my favorite guilty pleasure movie. That's tough because I've gotten to this point where I'm just like, I have no guilty pleasures. I
sure.
watch whatever the hell I watch. God, I'm sorry. I don't want to tie things up too much. I know we're trying to do rapid fire. Let me really think. You know what? I actually, when my wife showed me The Notebook when we were first dating, I know, look, here's the thing. My dad, talking about my dad loving movies, he's always been a rom-com guy. And and he's been proud of it. All his like, I love rom-coms, chick flicks. I don't care what you call it. I love. And me, I've always been a little more hesitant. I'm the cool punk rock horror kid.
Right.
My wife, when we were first dating, shows me a Notebook, and I'm like, he wrote her every day. So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say The Notebook. We'll give it that one.
Fair enough. It's funny because I grew up in the 80s. I grew up a metal kid, punk rock, the goth scene, hip hop, the whole 9 yards. I do a daily radio show. And on the radio show yesterday, I played Hold On by Wilson Phillips because the hell with it. It's a good song.
Yeah,
it's a catchy song. So I don't care what, but call me a poser. I don't care. It's a good thing. What's your favorite method of murder?
Ooh, favorite method of murder. Strangulation. There's just something, especially Giallo, you get the black gloves on there. It's just something real in-depth and personal.
Nice. Fast or slow zombies?
I'm a slow zombie guy. There's just something about him. I'm just a Romero traditionalist in that way, but I could get down with some fast zombies. Hey, I'm excited for 28 years later like everybody else.
Yep,
so,
it is. I am intrigued. And the last question I ask everybody, and after you answer, I'll explain why. Chris, when you go to the grocery store, can you reach the items on the top shelf?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. So, sometimes if it's a little far in the back, I got to dig, but I'm about 5'10", so I can do it. Yeah.
All right, cool. When I did my very first interview, somebody asked that question, and I'm 6'4", so
gotcha, yeah.
I can't go into a grocery store without a little old lady asking me to get her. Can you give me that? So my whole life I've been a top shelf guy, but that's why. Not because I'm a good person or my personality area. I can reach tall shit. That's my.
You just tall, yeah. No.
Yeah. My wife is 5'1", so she does all the short work. I do all the tall work. It works out very well for us. So what are the plans for next year? Any festival ideas, getting out on the road a little bit, spread the word?
Oh, yeah. Well, so in terms of festivals and everything, there's one really cool festival that I've gotten a bunch of my work in over the years, but I've never actually physically gone to. Place to Be screened there 2 years ago, Dead Air, and I've acted in films that have been in there. But it's called Genre Blast, and it's down in, I want to say it's down in Virginia, I believe, if I'm correct. There's an Alamo Draft House down in Virginia where they host it. If I'm wrong on the location, Nathan, the guy who runs it, will correct it. Sure. But it's a really cool festival. I know I know some fellow filmmakers from this area alone who have who go down there and have a good time. And I've always wanted to go, but just for whatever reason, money reasons, I never have it. So my goal is next year I'm going to go, because I know for a fact that I've done a little voice acting and in-person acting in some shorts that I know some people are going to submit. I'm confident one of them is going to get in there. So even if I don't have anything I've written and directed myself in there, I'm going to go down just to support that. So I'd say everybody check out Genre Blast.
Very nice. Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get the details. Here we go. Genre Blast Film Festival. Dun, dun, dun. Alamo Draft House. Let's see. Yeah, guys, show me where. Come on, man. Yes, Culpeper, Virginia.
God, okay,
so where that is. Yep, at the Alamo Draft House, which I hear are delightful. I've never been to one. There wasn't one in Connecticut, and now I live in Illinois, and there isn't one here. So eventually, though, but I got some friends in Texas who swear by them. So, and I got writers out. I got all like I see myself traveling a lot this coming year. So I'm sure at some point I'll find myself at something to do with the Alamo Drafthouse, because they do cool stuff. Like I'm constantly reading about screenings and all the different stuff that they do. So that's an exciting thing. I've got your Instagram here. Let's get this up here. And that's Instagram at instant_insanity_productions. And you're on Facebook as well. And this year there will be a website. We'll talk.
Yeah, we'll make that happen. Yeah, we'll work out your rate and everything. We'll make it happen.
Absolutely. And get you up and running there, and get a bunch of stuff going on. Chris, is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to, your production team, whoever, like the folks that make you excited to get up in the morning?
All right, yeah, a couple people real quick. Matt Sullivan, one of my right-hand guys, a dude who directed Dead Air again, who I'm always working on stuff with, did Terror TV with him. He's amazing. Also, my buddy Frank DiRuggiero. He's not in A Place to Be, but he's in almost everything else I've ever done. He's Mickey Monstro in Dead Air. He was in How to Make a Snuff Film, which was something I made years ago and everything. He's always in my shorts. I met him in college. Great guy. And last but not least, I just want to give a quick shout-out to my wife, Jessica, who is insanely supportive of me being this weirdo filmmaker, writer guy, and just following my dreams constantly, and always a sounding board for any of my weird ideas. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, Chris, I want to thank you for coming out and spending some time with us tonight. My table is always open. Next time you've got something premiering, hit me up. We'll have you on. We'll have the cast on anytime. I love talking to folks. I love hearing about the process, and this stuff gets me excited. So let's spread the word. Let's make some magic happen. 2025 is going to be a great year. So
I believe it.
I'm very positive there. Again, you and I will talk, and we'll get some stuff going on. Folks at home, we're going to go out on a quick commercial break, and thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week on THC Time.